Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're tackling something really interesting. It challenges, well, pretty much how most of us think about learning a language. Forget just the textbooks for a second. We're going deeper, looking at, the mental side of things, our mission, to explore the surprising link between your mindset and actually getting fluent and confident in English. We're drawing from excerpts of an Echo Minds discussion, the one titled Mindset for English Fluency and Confidence, featuring Mr. Abdullah Alsultan. And the core idea really is that how well you speak English might have less to do with how many words you know, and more about what's going on inside your head, how your thinking can, well, help or seriously hinder your progress.
Yeah, and that's the big takeaway for you, the listener, right up front.
Yeah.
This material argues that real confidence, that ability to just speak, it doesn't start with nailing every grammar rule. It starts with how you think.
So this deep dive, it's all about building fluency from the inside out, so to speak. Okay, let's unpack that, because honestly, it feels a bit backwards, doesn't it? We spend years learning rules, vocabulary list. So why does this source say the real starting point is thinking? Is it really saying grammar classes aren't the key? That sounds, well, pretty radical.
Well, it's not saying grammar is useless.
No.
Not at all. It's more about when it comes into play. Think of it like this. Traditional methods give you all the tools, right? The vocabulary, the structures. But they often miss teaching you how to actually use those tools when you're, on the spot, when you're nervous. The focus here is on that internal shift. It's about moving from seeing English as just like a subject you study to seeing it as something you do, something you perform. So for you listening, the implication is huge. It suggests that often the main thing holding you back isn't that you don't know enough words. It's the mental roadblocks, fear, doubt, those things.
Right. So you might know the grammar, but you're afraid to actually speak, like having a map but being too scared to start the car. And this source gets specific, doesn't it? It talks about 3 particular psychological barriers, confidence killers, basically. What are they, and why are they so damaging to fluency?
Yes, Mr. Alsultan points to 3 big ones: fear, self-doubt, and perfectionism. And they aren't just vague feelings. They actively get in the way of speaking. Take fear. What does that look like? Well, maybe you just use really simple sentences because you're scared of messing up a complex one. Or you just stay quiet. You play it safe, communicatively speaking, rather than really expressing what you mean. And self-doubt. You hear it sometimes in how people talk. Like they make a statement, but it sounds like a question. That rising tone at the end, it's like they're subconsciously asking, was that right? Undermines their whole point, really.
I know what you mean. And perfectionism. That one hits hard, especially for people who are generally high achievers, right? They know so much. But that pressure to be perfect just freezes them.
Exactly. Perfectionism can be absolutely crippling, maybe even more so for advanced learners. They get stuck in what you might call pre-speech rehearsal. They're trying to build the perfect sentence in their head, checking every little rule, and by the time they're ready, the moment's passed.
Yeah.
Or they start talking and then constantly correct themselves over tiny things, completely killing the flow.
Okay, so fear makes you hide, doubt makes you hesitant, perfectionism makes you freeze or stutter. We've got the diagnosis. So this brings us to the really juicy part. The source hints at a kind of secret understanding how confident speakers actually think before they open their mouths. What is that? What are they doing differently inside their heads?
Right, this is where we get practical. It's about the internal process. The source suggests fluent speakers operate differently based on 2 main things: prioritization and resilience. What does that mean? Well, confident speakers tend to prioritize getting the message across over using flawless grammar. Their internal focus is more like, what do I need to say? Not, did I use the right tense back there? If they make a small mistake, like using the wrong verb form, they don't see it as a disaster. It's just data, something to be fixed later. They don't stop the whole conversation to beat themselves up about it.
So they process errors differently. It's not about never making mistakes, but about not letting mistakes derail them. They aim for good enough communication to keep things flowing. Can you give an example?
Sure. Let's say someone wants to say it was pouring rain, but they blank on the word pouring. A speaker stuck in perfectionism might just stop, hesitate, get flustered. But a confident speaker, they'll instantly switch to something simpler, like, wow, it was raining very hard, and just keep going. No big pause. They prioritize the flow, the communication itself, that ability to just keep going, to adapt on the fly, even when things aren't perfect. That's the resilience we're talking about. That's the internal skill.
That makes so much sense. It's about quick recovery, not perfect execution. Okay, and the source connects this to action, right? It mentions needing both daily habits and these mindset shifts. How do those work together?
Yes. They're intertwined. You need both. You can't just decide to be less afraid. You need to shift your thinking, like reframing mistakes as learning opportunities, not failures. And you need habits that actually put that new mindset into practice. Habits that force you to act despite the fear or the desire for perfection. For example, the mindset shift is telling yourself, it's okay to make mistakes. That's how I learn. The daily habit might be forcing yourself to speak up in a meeting without planning your sentence perfectly beforehand. The habit proves the mindset shift is possible. It shows you that you can survive making a small error. That combination builds real, usable confidence.
It's almost like training a muscle then. You need the intention, the mindset, but also the actual workout, that habit where you push against that discomfort.
Precisely. And you can tailor the habits. If fear is your big issue, maybe the habit is initiating conversations. If it's self-doubt, perhaps it's stating your opinion clearly without that questioning tone. If perfectionism gets you, maybe it's deliberately practicing speaking faster, even if it means more small errors. You target the specific barrier with a specific action. That's how you build resilience.
Okay, so wrapping this up. For anyone listening who wants to get fluent faster, what's the big takeaway here? It sounds like maybe spending less time just memorizing lists and more time working on the inside.
That's the core of it, yes. The EchoMinds material really pushes this idea. Fluency is a performance. It relies on mental resilience. Your confidence is what allows you to actually use the grammar and vocabulary you've learned. If that internal confidence isn't there, the knowledge just sits there, unused.
Yeah.
So yeah, focus on that internal journey, tackling the fear, the doubt, the perfectionism. The fluent speaking will follow. It becomes more spontaneous.
So here's something to chew on as you think about all this. If fluency means getting past that fear of mistakes and that need to be perfect, what's one small, specific thing, a daily habit you could start doing, like today, that directly challenges one or both of those? Maybe it's what we talked about. Recording yourself for just 1 minute, unfiltered, explaining something and sending it off. No editing allowed. Think about it. How can you actively shift from being just a grammar learner to becoming a confidence-first communicator?